I'm Heather Vale with Performance Marketing Insider, and joining me today is John Strong, CEO of Adaptive Medias. John, thank you so much for being here with us today.
You're welcome, Heather. I'm glad to be here with you.
So tell us about your recent merger with AdSupply.
Well, we announced our merger with AdSupply the other day. AdSupply, as you may know, is a private company. They're based in Culver City, California. And we had been in talks with them for the last 5 or 6 weeks, exploring the possibilities of integrating our MediaGraph video platform with the AdSupply banner solutions that they have. So as the talks progressed, we got to where it was pretty obvious the synergies for both companies were really, really strong and compelling. And so that led to the discussions moving more towards us just partnering together with us having a full merger is what we felt like was the best solution for both of us. That also gives AdSupply, which has 1,000 publishers in its publisher base. It gives us 1,000 publishers added that we can start marketing the MediaGraph video platform to. AdSupply at the time was not using video or did not have a video offering for their publishers, and that's a really large base. They're number 21 on ComScore for advertising. They're also number 1 in politics and number 1 in news. So it's a really, really great opportunity for both of us to be able to add video to that many publishers going forward. They had considered in the past trying to build out a video platform of their own. Most of the people that have gone that direction quickly find out that it's not only very, very expensive, but time consuming. And by the time you would do that, it could take 2 years of solid, a dozen or 15 engineers on a project like this. The time it takes is just not realistic, because the need for these solutions for these publishers is immediate. So that's one of the reasons why we have a pretty good first mover advantage, because we're finished now. We have everything that we need. And to be able to just give that to them for integration, and then in return us to have access to 1,000 major publishers, is a really important aspect for us. And then on top of that, they have this very, very important patent that they were recently granted called the Block IQ. The Block IQ is actually a solution to the ad blockers that are destroying websites and publishers' revenues. So the patent is very broad, and the technology works. It's been tested. They've been testing it with some of their clients, about 25 of them in beta versions, and it defeats ad blocking. So, when you take that and you put it on top of the full stack MediaGraph that we have, then we're able to begin offering something that not a single other person in our industry can offer. And the problem is a large problem. Ad blocking destroyed $22 billion of revenue last year. I think it's going to rise to over $40 billion this year. So as you can imagine, if you can offer a solution to that, I don't know how much of that market we can capture, but we can capture some of it. And every 1% of that market this year is going to be a $400 million opportunity. And so from AdSupply's perspective, they wanted to be able to have the video solution, to be able to integrate the Block IQ on top of as an offering, although it can be offered separately as well. And they also wanted access to the public markets for financing and growth. And this merger will accomplish all of those things for both of us.
Okay. So as you're talking about Block IQ, what comes to mind is I'm wondering how effective ads are when they're shown to someone who had initially tried to block them. Do you have any data on that?
Well, there's no doubt that there are ads that are intrusive. I mean, I'm just like everybody else. I don't like takeover ads that, you can't get out of them, or they keep taking you from one screen to another, to another, to another. That's something for the ad industry. We have to address that. Advertisers have to address that. So they have to make ads a little bit more palatable to the public. And if they'll work on that problem, people are not opposed to seeing ads, especially if they're relevant, if they're well made, and they're not so intrusive as to ruin the performance of the computer or the phone or the tablet that they're using and slow it down. And if they're relevant to what they're interested in, and we can do all of that. It's just that we're not doing it in many cases. So it's in some respects, it's a case of some bad apples that are just throwing this stuff out there, kind of ruining it for everybody. So ad blockers, they're not going away. They're growing at 50% a year. So the pain points are really, really evident now. When you have over 20% of the market being blocked, and it's going to grow to 30, 35% this year, maybe 50, 55% next year, it's really a serious issue. So it's a carrot and stick thing. Both sides are going to have to do a better job on this. But from our standpoint, it is not a fair situation to have somebody that makes ad blocking software say, you can't show any ads. You can't have any opportunity on your own website to earn money or monetize it. That's not right. And so we're a solution to that. We do think that there is also a need for better advertising.
Okay, so then what kind of advice would you give to the advertisers that are watching in order to make ads that are more relevant, more targeted, less annoying, basically?
Well, they know how to make relevant ads, and they know how to serve relevant advertising to people who are interested in specific areas. That they all know, and we know how to do. What they need to get away from is these takeover ads that are super intrusive. I mean, they take over your page. You try to click out, you can't. A lot of them have malware embedded into them, virus threats. I mean, it's just not a good solution. So, I mean, you click on something that you think is an interesting article. I do this all the time, and it takes you to a third-party page that it's difficult to get out of. Sometimes you have to even just close your browser entirely and re-log in to get away from them. Those are really, really bad. And people aren't really paying attention to those. That's bad marketers trying to monetize stuff that has no relevance. It just makes people angry. So but I am not opposed to seeing advertising that has some meaning to me. And I understand that websites give me a lot of free content, and I don't necessarily want to pay for content. And I know that there's a trade-off there, and I'm willing to accept that. I go to ESPN all the time, and I know that ESPN can't just show me all of that wonderful content for free without me giving something back, to them. And what I give back to them is a few seconds of my time to view a relevant ad. And I think as long as we work towards doing it that way, we're going to be fine. I mean, look at the Super Bowl. People look forward to the ads on the Super Bowl because they're exciting, they're well made, they're professional, they're interesting. There's a lot of components. So people are not just necessarily opposed to advertising. They're not. They actually like some advertising. They like to see advertising for things they're interested in, but they don't like these really intrusive ads that just take over everything and lead you down somewhere else that you didn't intend to go, and take you away from the article you're reading, or stop you in your tracks. I mean, that's what they are angry about, and that's why you're seeing ad blockers exploding, is because of that. It's not because people are not willing to view an ad at all.
Okay, so what types of ad blockers does BlockIQ work with? Is it just simple Java pop-ups that it will enable, or will it actually allow all these hijacking examples that you're talking about?
Well, the ad blockers themselves block all ads. They just block everything. So they even block it at the before. Most websites don't even know how much of their traffic is being blocked because the ad blockers are blocking it before the analytics. So you don't even know. I mean,
Okay.
we have a way to tell. You know, we have a script that we can embed for you, and it'll give us a pretty clear picture if you're losing 22% of your market or 30% or whatever it is. We can figure that out and give you an idea. But most website owners really don't know today. They just assume they're not losing anything because they don't see it. They don't even see it, which is the whole idea. For the ad blockers, that's their goal. They don't even want you to know what you're losing.
Okay, you mentioned that there are a lot of new publishers coming with ad supply, some major publishers. Can you give us some examples of what types of publishers advertisers will have access to?
You know, I have a list. I don't have it in front of me, unfortunately, but it's a very, very comprehensive list and some really, really top level publishers, and we're going to be real excited to work with them all.
Okay, great. So if somebody watching wants to find out more about what you offer, maybe sign up or try the platform, what would they do?
Well, a good place to start is the website for BlockIQ if you're interested in ad blocking solutions, and that's www.blockiq.com. You could also go to the adsupply.com website or visit our website at adaptivemedias.com. And, you know, there's information on all three sites. You know, if you're interested in the MediaGraph platform and video solutions, I'd start with Adaptive Media. And if you're interested in how to determine how much of your traffic is being blocked by ad blockers and what the opportunities are to recover the revenue from that traffic, then I would say start with BlockIQ, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you so much, John, for being here with us and giving an update on what you're doing with your company and how it affects the marketers that are watching. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Heather, very much.